Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Saha Viryam Karvavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. We'll do the Shanti part of Taittriya. Om Shanno Mitra Sham Varunaha Shanno Bhavatya Yarma Shanna Indro Bruhaspatihi Shanno Vishnurukramaha Namo Brahmane Namaste Vayo Tvameva Pratyaksham Brahmasi Tvameva Pratyaksham Brahma Vadishyami Ritam Vadishyami Satyam Vadishyami Tanma Vavatu Tad Vaktaram Avatu Avatu Mam Avatu Vaktaram. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So we are on section 8. It's called Anuvak 8. And we did Omiti Brahma, Omiti Idgam Sarvam last time. Whoever has a book, yes, Samir ji.
I might have to leave the class at the moment, so I will join you next week again.
Okay, sure, no problem. Yeah. Okay, so whoever has the page number can give. Mine is old book, so it's 64 in mine.
It's 64, I think.
Oh, it is? Okay. Anyway, it's an Anuvak 8. Here, Meena ji, you have a page number for everyone?
Well, I don't. I was saying that that's an old book still. Ours is
Okay.
old.
Okay, never mind. I think you know. Everybody knows where is section, whoever has the book. Sorry?
It's 79, I think.
Okay, 79. Okay. So what we were talking about is Om. And Om is such a huge topic, such a beautiful topic. And I already discussed a lot of things. But let's read Swamiji's commentary. We only read one paragraph. And we will read. And this is, whoever has done Mandukya, it is the essence of the Mandukya Upanishad is there. And Om, every Indian, and now most of the people in the world know about Om. And we were discussing that where we live in Pacific Beach, har jagah Om hi dikhai deta hai yahan pe. Because that symbol is so kind of, it attracts you, but there is so much science behind it. So much genius behind it, that Om symbol, how they came about it, and how the sadhana of Om symbol can take you to the highest, itself. So that's another sadhana. Okay. So any volunteer to read starting from second paragraph, life is a constant flow of experience. If I don't have a volunteer, I'm going to ask Sushil ji to read it.
Are we starting from the beginning on that, or from where?
Actually, you can start from the beginning. That's fine, because that will give us. We did read the paragraph last. Yeah, go ahead. Start with the beginning.
The sacred sound Om is Brahman. All this is the syllable Om. The mystic syllable Om is the choiceless point of concentration prescribed for the benefit of the student of Vedanta, who is constitutionally more intellectual than emotional. In their early attempts at developing a highly concentrated mind and intellect, such students too need the help of symbol or idea, which has infinite possibilities to entertain them with its inexhaustible contents. The genius in the Vedic masters gave us Om as an idol for the intellect to worship in the inner temple.
So as we saw that how in this particular Upanishad, they were talking about teaching them the art of meditation. It's too bad that, what was the name of the gentleman? Tej left, because here is a whole art of meditation that we learned in Taittriya, that how take something that you already know and superimpose something higher on it. Okay, and then they took us through the journey. Now they are taking to the highest symbol. Om is the symbol of that Brahman, and in the Mandukya Upanishad, it says Om is this all. Whatever past, present, future, everything is Om. So that's the symbol, and we talked about what is the significance of a symbol, that you have to take this whole vast thing and you can bring a symbol, and when you look at the symbol, you remember that whole thing. It's like flag of America. The moment we see the flag, oh, we're talking about America. Whole America comes in mind. Or India, now that Chandrayaan is on, sab jagah India ka flag lehra raha hai. Because we are so proud of India. That's why. So symbol has a lot of power.
Life is a constant flow of experiences, and these experiences, when observed, are found to fall in three layers as the experiences of waking state, of the dream state, and of the deep sleep state. The life of every one of us is certainly influenced by our experiences in all these three different planes of consciousness, and they all have totally a positive influence in molding our character and personality. This would read slightly strange to the modern young man because Western philosophy has so far been striving to discover the fundamental in life by an analysis and close study of merely the life available for us in our waking state. It is indeed difficult, if not almost impossible, to come to a right evaluation of life and by observing only a third of its field.
So, whoever has not done the Mandukya, why it is so powerful, because it is taking you to that Brahman through your own experiences. You don't need any book, you don't need anything. It's just telling you, hey, in 24 hours, what experiences you have. And no matter whether you are a saint or a sinner or who you are in the world, out of the 8 billion population or people who have come before or going to come after, you have only three experiences: waking world, dreaming, and deep sleep. There is no other experience for us in our life. And all those three, and then what point he was trying to make is the modern science only focuses on the waking world. It gives maybe little importance to sleep and deep sleep, but they never talk about it to that extent. So you're missing out on 2/3, number one. And I wanted to add one more thing, that they only talk about, the physical world, the modern science. Whole focus, they forget about the spiritual aspect of it, or hey, where did we come from, soul or feelings or anything. A human being is not made just with the physical world. That's only 1/3 of it. We are much, much more being than them. So that's why sometimes their findings become very lopsided. Even now they are realizing that even if when we get a disease or something, or we are not feeling well, our whole psyche is affected. Not just the physical thing, our mental state and all that stress, all that is part of it too. And then how you look at the whole universe. Do you have a spiritual backing or not? That also affects it. And then in my own family, I have seen, the people who are like spiritually oriented, they handle their problem, disease, whatever they have, in a much more efficient manner, than not. So it's like, that's what he's talking about, that we are made up of these three experiences, not just the waking world. That's where we begin.
When the rishis more and more closely observed these fields of experiences, they discovered that an individual identifying with his physical body comes to live his waking state of outer gross objects as the waker.
So then he's just telling you that, hey, when we are when we are awake, then we are called waker, and whatever experience we call them waker.
The same entity, when totally in oblivion of his body and the outer world, exclusively gets identified with his mind and intellect. He comes to revel in an inner world of dream and experiences subtle objects of imaginations as a dreamer.
So to keep it in the simple words, when we go to sleep, we have two phases of sleep. One is called the deep sleep where we don't dream, and one is called, dreaming state. So all he's saying is that in the dreaming state, our body is not available to us. Body से connection टूट जाता है. But mind and intellect are still active. And वो mind and intellect के world में हम घूमते हैं और उसमें हमको सपना कोई भी स्टोरी बना लेते हैं हम लोग. So that's what the dream state is.
When the same entity becomes forgetful of the body and its outer world, the mind and intellect and their feelings and thoughts, he comes to enjoy a world of nothingness, no doubt peaceful and joyful, and yet conscious of nothing but nothingness, he becomes a deep sleeper.
So the third stage is when your connection with the body तो already नहीं है, जब mind and intellect से भी connection टूट जाता है, as though वो mind and intellect सो गया हो, जैसे shut down हो गया हो, okay, connection टूट गया हो, then what do we call it? Not lack of experience, but experiencing nothingness. कुछ भी नहीं है. And I think the best example that Gaurang Bhai used to give, and even Chinmayanand ji, that suppose that there is a light in this room, and I come in this room at night time, and then there are 100 objects in this room, and I'm looking at each object and it's illuminating those objects. But suppose all the objects are gone, nothing is there, then the light is still there, no? Light is illuminating nothing, it's illuminating the whole room, but it's not illuminating any object. Same way, the light of consciousness is there, but no objects are there because it has folded. Connection with the body is broken, and connection with the mind and intellect is broken. So it's the experience of nothingness. That's how it is explained in Mandukya.
The dreamer's experiences are totally different, and sometimes even contrary to the waker's life, and the experience of deep sleeper is common to all and seems to have no relationship with the waking and the dream conditions of the experiences. Yet, it is the experience of all of us that we can remember on our waking, all about our experiences during the last waking state, yesterday nights, early dreams, and also the peaceful sleep that we had afterwards. From these observations, the rishis continued their bold and adventurous theory.
So the main point he's trying to say over here is that जो ये तीन states है ना, ये एक दूसरे का प्रवेश नहीं है इसमें. If you are waker, you are not a dreamer or a deep sleeper. If you are sleeping, you are not the other two. If you are deep sleeping, you are not a dreamer or a waker. मतलब वो दोनों साथ में नहीं हो सकता है. ये अपने सबका एक्सपीरियंस है. या तो मैं सो रही हूँ या जागी हुई हूँ, मैं दोनों नहीं हो सकती. तो कोई बोलेगा अरे मैं तो सो रही हूँ, अगर तुम बोल रहे हो तो सो नहीं रहे हो, है कि नहीं? So everybody knows. कोई आर्ग्यूमेंट कोई कर नहीं सकता इस लॉजिक के अगेंस्ट में, बिकॉज दैट इज अ 3 different कंपार्टमेंट जिसका एक दूसरे में प्रवेश नहीं है. Okay, then what he's saying.
The law of memory is that one cannot oneself remember any experience of another. If one can remember anything at all, they are all actual experiences of the individual himself. That is to say, the law of memory enunciates that the rememberer and the experiencer must be one and the same individual, or else memory is impossible. I can never remember any of your past experiences, nor can you remember any of my experiences.
So वो क्या बोल रहे हैं? वो ऐसा बोल रहे हैं कि अगर ये 3 different states है और इसमें एक दूसरे का प्रवेश नहीं है, लेकिन हमको तीनों याद है. मुझे ये पता है कि मैं वेकिंग में तो खैर हमको सबको मालूम ही होता है कि हम लोग अवेक हैं. फिर हम लोग को ड्रीम करते हैं, तो जब अर्ली मॉर्निंग ड्रीम, देखो बाकी लोग कहीं भूल जाते हैं, मैं भी भूल जाती हूँ अपने दूसरे अर्ली मॉर्निंग वाले हम लोग को याद रहते हैं. हम लोग को सभी को इतना तो मालूम है कि मेरे को ड्रीम आया था, पूरा नहीं याद होगा, वो होगा ड्रीम. हाँ, तो ड्रीम हमको याद आता है. फिर हमको ये भी मालूम होता है कि जब हम लोग डीप स्लीप में सोए थे, वो मेरे को बहुत अच्छी नींद आई. कौन है तुम्हारे अंदर जो ये तीनों चीज़ों को समझ रहा है, तो एक कोई कॉमन फैक्टर है. एंड ही जस्ट टॉकिंग अबाउट मेमोरी, कि मेमोरी जब होती है ना किसी को, जब कोई यादाश्त बोलते हैं जो हिंदी में, उसके लिए एक्सपीरियंस और मेमोरी दोनों की ज़रूरत है. वो एक्सपीरियंसर बोला है उसने, जो एक्सपीरियंस करता है वो कॉमन होगा तीनों में, इसके लिए वो it works. So he's bringing a lot of science in here. This is not just because somebody said it, you believe it. No, there's a science behind it. Okay.
Applying this law of memory as a test, we find that the waker, the dreamer, and the deep sleeper are strangers among themselves, each living in its own world and seemingly having no passport to travel across its own frontiers. Since we can remember all of our experiences in all the three different planes, there must necessarily be a common factor, which was a witness of all happenings in all the three states, in all the three planes.
So he's just telling you that firstly he proved that all three states are absolutely independent of each other. That's one aspect of it. But because we remember it, there must be something common between all three. इसको साक्षी बोलो, विटनेस बोलो, whatever, whoever you want to call it, Brahman bolo, Turiya, the name that was given in the fourth entity is there.
To make it clear, let us suppose that we have an idle afternoon, a friend in our drawing room who starts reading a slice of his biography in which he explains his despairing days in Madras, disastrous failure in Madurai, and his glorious success in Delhi. Now, we all know that Madras is not Madurai, nor is Madurai one with Delhi. But our friend is describing his experiences of the three planes from his own memory. Again, the despairs in Madras are different from the despairs in Madurai, and both these sets of experiences are separate from the glorious successes in Delhi. But our friend is explaining all of them from his own memory. Under such circumstances, we instinctively understand that he, our friend, lived his despairing days in Madras and himself went to Madurai, where he spent his days of failure, and then he himself again left the Madras zone for Delhi to reap his glorious successes.
So Swamiji gave this elaborate example to just tell you that suppose there is one man and he has had he went to three different cities. So when he's in, whichever cities, he said Madras, Madurai and Delhi. So वो जब मदुराई में था, मद्रास में नहीं था. मद्रास में था तो मदुराई में नहीं था, right? तीन उसको एक्सपीरियंस हुआ और तीनों अलग अलग हुआ. एक जगह उसको डिस्पेयर हुआ, दूसरी जगह डिजास्टर हुआ और तीसरी जगह उसको सक्सेस मिला. अब वो बैठ के याद कर रहा है तीनों जगह को. तो ही इज अ कॉमन पर्सन इन दैट हु हैज गॉन टू ऑल थ्री. सेम वे we have this Brahman which experiences three different states. That's what he's pointing towards.
Similarly, there must be some entity within ourselves who is present in the waking world, who moves to illumine the dreams, who is distant observer in deep sleep world, and yet who is not conditioned by any of these three realms. The entity is, as it were, conceived as the fourth, who is the real, the changeless, the intelligent principle.
So see how he's bringing us to us that because that तीनों में कोई एक चीज present है, so that particular entity उसको तुम fourth बोलो. But another very important, powerful revelation that he did was that it is not conditioned by any of these three realms. उस एंटिटी को कुछ नहीं होता है, ना कोई डिजास्टर होता है. लाइक ये आदमी को सोचो, आदमी को तो कुछ नहीं हुआ ना, उसका एक्सपीरियंस ऑफ डिजास्टर हुआ, उसको एक्सपीरियंस ऑफ डिस्पेयर हुआ, उसको एक्सपीरियंस ऑफ सक्सेस हुआ. आदमी तो वही है. उस एग्जाम्पल में भी दिस फॉलोज दिस काइंड ऑफ लॉजिक. सो ऑल इज टेलिंग यू दैट तीन एक्सपीरियंस होते हैं हम लोग को, वेकिंग, dreaming and deep sleep, उसमें जो common factor है, which is changeless, intelligent and real. That's what, and that's all the things are going to come in Bhagavad Gita also now. When we go to the next verse, Kavi Puranam, that's what it's going to tell us.
The sages of the Vedas, after indicating this much to the students of Vedanta, want them to experience the pure subject, who in the waking world becomes the waker, in the dream becomes the dreamer, and in sleep becomes the sleeper.
So he's just saying that you can, another language they use is pure subject, like the I. I within me, it became waker when I'm awake, it became a dreamer when I'm dreaming, and deep sleeper when I'm sleeping deep. That's all, but it's the same entity experiencing the three things. And even when we talked about Sakshi Bhav, Sakshi means witness. Witness means one who does not get involved. कोई एक्सीडेंट होता है तो उसको कुछ नहीं हुआ है, विटनेस को विटनेस दूर खड़ा रह के देख रहा है, उसी को विटनेस बनाया जा सकता है. जो लोग एक्सीडेंट में इन्वॉल्व होते हैं वो लोग विटनेस नहीं बन सकते. विटनेस इज अ थर्ड पार्टी. सो दैट सेम वे दिस एंटिटी इज अ थर्ड पार्टी which is observing everything, experiencing everything, but nothing happens to it. And going back to our Bhagavad Gita, that's what Krishna Bhagwan wants us to connect to. The Sakshi Bhav, that हम लोग को कुछ होता है दुनिया में तो हम बोलते हैं, oh my God, this happened, that happened, family में, बाहर, drama, this, that. Hey, तुमको कुछ नहीं हुआ है. It's hard for us to believe that. You are as pure. Just stay that way.
The sound Om is constituted of three syllables, A, U, and Ma. And while chanting continuously the sound Om in the mind, the Upasaka is advised to superimpose upon these three sounds the three different planes of consciousness we have been describing so far, namely the waking, the dream, and the deep sleep. The process of superimposition is the same as the principle of underlying all idol worship. We have already discussed this technique by which where the mighty is seen or imagined in the meager Shiva Tattva, in Shiva Linga, the divine mother of knowledge, in the river Ganga, Sri Narayana in the Saligrama, and Christ on the cross.
So he's telling you that, this whole idea of superimposition in meditation, we have seen it from the beginning of this Taittriya Upanishad. And that's what we were talking about, that, when I think Krishna ji was saying that we should have to learn the correct technique. Here, if you want to meditate, then how should you meditate? Here it is. You are taking something that you know, but superimposing something higher on it. Like Shiva Lingam में Shiva Tattva. शिवलिंग का महात्म्य ही है कि वो हम उसमें शिव भगवान को देखते हैं. हु शिव भगवान इज दैट ब्रह्मन. और डिवाइन मदर ऑफ नॉलेज इन रिवर गंगा. गंगा की महत्व ये है कि भाई इट इज कनेक्टेड विद ज्ञान. और हम लोग सोचते हैं कि खाली पानी है, पर जो लोग को गंगा के किनारे ज्ञान मिला है ना, उनको जाके पूछो क्या सोचते हैं वो लोग गंगा के बारे में. Even he was talking about Prabhupada ji. Prabhupada ji के एक भक्त है जो who is head of the Mumbai temple now. He's from Chicago, Swami. And he said, this will be hard to believe, but he's saying it. I'm not saying it. He said he got the Maha Mantra. They call it Maha Mantra is Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram. जो लोग बोलते हैं. He got that mantra from the Ganga river. He said he was sitting in meditation and he heard it from the waves of Ganga and he memorized it. And he didn't know what it was because he had not met Prabhupada by then. And this is in his book, Journey Back Home, because I read these biographies. And he said that then he his life was directed by as though unknown force only. Krishna was pulling him in to India. So he said that he memorized that mantra. It gave him a lot of peace. He loved it. He loved the sound. And then when he memorized it, one day he happened to go in a pravachan of Prabhupada ji. And he was sitting in the back and Prabhupada ji started his pravachan with this mantra. And he said he was so shocked that that's the mantra Ganga gave it to him. So गंगा की महिमा इन लोग से पूछो, कि जो लोग connected हैं गंगा से, and they see the subtle part of Ganga, the divine part of Ganga, they call it the mother of knowledge. That's why बनारस में सारे saints and sages बनारस जाते हैं, because of Ganga. Because there's some vibrations over there I've heard in Kashi that it's conducive to learning. Like we say ना कि we go to a college or a school, वहाँ पर हमको डिग्री मिलती है, घर बैठे तो नहीं मिल जाती है. Atmosphere is such, and the vibrations from Ganga, they can learn faster and get inspired and all that. So that's why he's saying that divine mother of knowledge in river Ganga, Narayan and Shaligram, because India maybe they take a small thing, some supari or something, and say this is Narayan, or we take swastik and we say this is Ganesha. So we are taking a larger thing, or Christ on a cross, even other religions, So all that is the same technique of superimposition. So they have taken this letter Om with 3 lines. One line is waking state, and the other, and that's A. A represents that, and then U is the second line. We call it U, and that is dreaming. And the third letter is M, and we call it deep sleep. And that's the third line.
The practitioner at his meditation thus trains himself consciously to superimpose the waker in him on the sound and then as the sound merges with the sound U, he gains a mental dexterity to forget totally his identity with waking state experiences, and to come to live consciously in meditation the entire identity with the dreamer in him. So too, when he comes to sound Ma, he is able to black out the entire state of plurality and arrive at a state of semi-consciousness experiences of all negation. Thereafter, his spiritual growth is assured in proportion to his intensity of pursuit, purity of life, and his intelligent sense of detachment.
So he's talking about, how the sadhana now, how to do the sadhana of Om. So when we are saying the, Om like that, so he's saying that Om is made up of 3 letters, O, U and Ma. So when at the Om लंबा होना चाहिए. हम लोग ऐसे नहीं बोल सकते ओम ओम ओम, कुछ नहीं होने वाला. It should be Om, and we know we do it that way, right? And then there should be gap between the 2 Oms. So when we are saying Om, the first part of Om is A. So then you identify with the waking state world, and then when you go to U, बोलने में हम लोग आउम नहीं बोलते हैं, बोलने में ओम ही बोलेंगे, but then we know it is made up of 3. So जब U का part आएगा, then we mental dexterity to forget totally the identity with the waking world. Waking world से merge होके तुम mind में चले गए, because the dream world represents mind and intellect only. So that's where you are with the mind and intellect, और उसको म बोलते बोलते उसको भी खत्म कर दिया सारा. And then in the experience of negation, so जितना तुम ये साधना करोगे उतना तुम्हारा mind pure hota jayega, number 1, integrate hota jayega. And then he said it depends on the proportion, intensity of pursuit, how much you want to do this, purity of life. So ये नहीं कि ओम ओम बोल रहे हैं और बाकी 20 घंटे गलत काम कर रहे हैं तो कुछ नहीं होने वाला. Purity of life भी आनी चाहिए. And intelligent sense of detachment, vairagya. And vairagya comes with understanding of who God is. अपने आप vairagya आएगा दुनिया से, because we know it's temporary. That's why. Okay, so all those, they are not just saying कि खाली ओम ओम बोला सब कुछ हो जाएगा. स्वामी जी ने 3 वहाँ पर चीज़ें डाल दी कि ये सब करना पड़ेगा, तभी उसका जितना हम लोग को ये 3 चीज़ें हम लोग डालेंगे उतना तुम्हारा sadhana safal hogi. That's what he's saying. Okay, so we have a lot more to read, so we'll stop, because this is Om is a very important thing to understand, right? So we will continue next time. I don't want to do too much, pretty heavy subjects, But any question, comment, or anybody want to add anything on so far whatever we did with Om? Or today's class? I think the people who had questioned, they left. Yeah, but that's fine. That always happens when you join in the beginning, Yeah, but that's
I
fine.
have one idea which I listened from one of the pravachans from some spiritual teacher,
Uh-huh.
and he was trying to explain that when we make up some good intent in our mind, like we are, and then with faith, the nature will open the door for us. Like you gave the example of Ma Ganga, and the thing is that because the nature, the Bhagwan ji already told nature that whoever wants to come, try to make the efforts. You need to help,
True.
and the nature opened the door, and he opens the doors and to reach to Bhagwan ji.
Absolutely. You're absolutely right. And it's like if God is everywhere, so he can do anything. So that's why, like even Joe has had those experiences that sometimes somebody gives a book or somebody, and that's what you need at that time, right?
Yeah.
You need something. When you are ready, भगवान अपने आप भेज देता है. गुरु भी भेज देगा, क्लास भी भेज देगा, whatever you need. And then there is one verse in chapter 10, it's going to come. Bhagwan said, if you make the effort, I give you buddhi yoga. और बुद्धि योग का मतलब क्या है मालूम? You will understand the shastras. Because कई लोग पढ़ते हैं. You can take this Bhagavad Gita and memorize the Sanskrit part and keep repeating it. But खोपड़ी में कुछ जा नहीं रहा. He is going to make you understand what it means.
What it means.
Yeah, correct. So भगवान कहते मैं तुमको दूंगा वो. तो जब what you said कि जब हम लोग कोशिश करते हैं ना, वो एक कहावत है ना, भक्ति मार्ग में कहावत है कि तुम एक कदम चलो, भगवान 100 चलते हैं. है कि नहीं? That's exactly what जो आपने बोला वो ये उसी का सार वही है कि तुम अगर और there is English में कहावत है, God help those who help themselves. Yeah. तुम तो कोशिश करो करके देखो, अपने आप मिलेगा सब कुछ. Right?
And Gangaji's words that I'm very, very confident that it can be 100% true, because Ganga Ma know that with what intention he was sitting and praying and what is in his mind.
Right, because he was one of the, you know who I'm talking about. There's Radha Swami who comes. It's Usi ki Radha Swami his name is, and his book is Journey Back Home. And he, it is such an interesting book. Whoever has interest, read that book. This boy from Chicago, what was his journey? How he reached India and kya usko experience hua? And how Krishna Bhagwan, one time, he was going in a train and he just fell sick. वो ट्रेन से उतरा, right? ट्रेन से उतरा और बीमार हो गया. He had some bad stomach upset. He started throwing up and he fell on the platform, unconscious. Then somebody picked him up from there. है ना? And उसको थोड़ा दवा दारू किया. तो उसने बोला मैं कहाँ हूँ और क्या कौन सा दिन है आज? तो उन्होंने बोला तू वृंदावन में है और आज जन्माष्टमी है.
Oh my God! See?
मतलब वो कैसे पहुंचा वहां पे? उसको लगा कि वो बीमार हो गया. And he didn't even know what Janmashtami is, what Vrindavan. He knew nothing. But
because it's a totally different culture.
Yes, but because इसका कुछ होएगा पिछले जन्मों का कृष्ण भगवान के साथ, और अभी आप उसको सुनो ना, इतना स्वीट है ना वो. इन्होंने आपने सुना होगा इतना.
मैंने कई बार.
हाँ, he comes here. Yeah.
One time I tell my experience. One day I really wanted to go to a temple, and I thought it was Saturday. I said, I want to meet somebody today. I said, Saturday nobody come there, No, all their preacher come on Sunday.
Right.
I said, okay, let I go there. And when I go there, Umaji, there were so many people with Saturday not there possible. Then I thought myself, maybe somebody there, And that was the time, Umaji, I saw him first time. It's a long time ago. And when I didn't know who was that, I listened the very first sentence when he said in the lecture. I was so impressed. I said, what? The very first sentence, I was so impressed. Then later on, then I felt him so well. Then one of our very close friends, he's their Guruji, you know. Like we know Guruji, that's their Guru. And then I came to know, then I read about him, the experiences of Himalayas yogi. I mean, everybody should listen on the YouTube, their experience. I was so impressed when he tell the whole story, how he went to Rishikesh and how he was doing, how he went to the cave. Although, even the Kali Yuga, it's not like
Yeah, abhi like you're saying, Kalyug means abhi ho raha hai ye. True.
And in front of us, and he's not very old either. He's almost like maybe early 70 or late 60s, you know, the way it is. And we can say that, oh, it happened in the Satyug, Treta Yuga and Dwapar. No, it happened in the Kali Yuga, in front of our eyes.
Right. So मैंने तो पूरी किताब पढ़ी है, तो there may be YouTube. Maybe you can share the YouTube links, because his story is so unbelievable. What she's saying, उनको ऐसे experience हुए, and you know he's telling you what happened in just recently with him. Right? Recently with him. True. So anyway, thank you for sharing, Sheilaji. Anybody else has anything?
No, I was just going to say there are many ways you experience it, and really you don't even have to think about it. Because I was listening to this music which I also sent, Aaj To Anand Hai. It is a song by Pandit Jasraj. So usme he sings all these Rishi Munis are singing, you know, Om Purnamadam. And in the end he says, Aaj Anand isliye hai कि कृष्ण भगवान पैदा हुए. So once you feel that, you really get the feeling, you know, that you are getting the bliss because Krishna Bhagwan is born. And it's all in a song.
Yeah, it's coming. Krishna Janmashtami is coming soon on September 6th. And this morning only, I was having a discussion with our son. You know, I was telling him that even Krishna Bhagwan's birth is so symbolic. He is born in jail when his parents are like totally in a helpless situation, whose 6 kids have been killed. I mean, how horrible circumstances. And वहाँ पर कृष्ण भगवान आ रहे हैं. Midnight, अंधेरा एकदम, बरसात हो रही है, तूफान आया हुआ है, you know. It's like the worst hurricane type of situation. He's being born. He's telling you that anywhere you can invoke Bhagwan. That's the message he's giving you, that you can, nothing is an excuse. You know, like this person's experience, वो बेचारा बीमार हो गया तो उसको लगा मैं मर रहा हूँ. He पड़ा था platform पे, somebody came and nursed him, and then he happened to be Krishna Janma, and suddenly he went. See, from how negative thing, something positive happened to him. You know?
But he has to go there, and somebody, maybe Bhagwan Garudji, Bhagwan ji sent him, and he went up there. It's a miracle.
Yeah, no, it is a planned thing by Bhagwan. That's what it is. And even so, this is Bhagwan's birth is also very symbolic, that we cannot make any excuse about it, anything in the world. Yeah. Okay, so everybody have a great week, and we will see you again on Wednesday. Hari Om, everyone. Oh, I didn't do the closing prayer. I'm sorry. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah, Sarve Santu Niramaya, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu, Ma Kaschit Dukha Bhag Bhavet. Hari Om, Shri Guru Bhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Hari Om, everyone.
Hari Om.
Thank you for the class.
Oh, here is my Samdhan. Okay, she went. She's my daughter-in-law's mom, and she just joined. So welcome, mommy. She's from Houston.
Thank you. I have sent you my message. I just wanted to have that information from you. So whenever you get a chance to,
I will for sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Welcome.
I really enjoyed it. Thank you so much.
You're most welcome. Okay. All right.
And I'm so sorry I came a little late, but from now onwards.
Hey, anything is fine in this class. Whatever is you can do, fine with me. I don't have any fixed rules.
I really enjoyed it.
Great. Okay.
Thank you.
Hari Om.
Bye. Bye everyone.
Bye.
Bye.